Welcome to the tribe call, our little gathering to raise our vibration, to get clear, to have fun, to have focus, and ultimately for the goal of freedom. Who's free right now? Who feels free
Mhm.
right now?
Uh,
We're getting there. So, yes, I realize just I've had a little bit more time because I'm not doing construction and just to really just get clearer and clearer and clearer. So I'm on my journey. Susan did some editing for me last night for a blog I was trying to get. It's so funny. I have all these I have so much going on that I'm like I have to like get it out, and by the time it's almost out another one comes on and I get it started. So if anybody wants to come to Tupper Lake, and I know you and trust you, you can live with me for a couple weeks. I can help you with your symptoms, and you can help me with getting all. I have probably 100 projects that are 70 to 80% finished. And that's just my brain that I fully understand and love. So let's just start with breathing, because as you can see, Deanna's riled right up this morning. So, whatever's hovering over you that may not be a good thought or good situation or good feeling in your body, just notice it. Just say, yes, yes, yes. I see what's going on. And in this moment, I'm just going to accept it. That right there can downgrade any situation at any time. So the power of yes, yes, yes. Breathe. Yes, yes, yes. Whatever is going on in my thoughts and my physical world, it's okay. It's just another situation going on in this world of a lot of situations. So in this moment, I am safe. In this moment, I have freedom. In this chair, I have freedom. So on your exhale, just breathe out until you can't breathe out anymore and just see all that tension leaving your body. And then purposely just fill your lungs with just clean, fresh beauty, love, peace. And that exhale, I was just reading in a book, and hopefully my comprehension is right, that when you fully move out all your oxygen until you have no more, that is helping to reset your system, your nervous system. And when you purposely breathe in with the intention of just sending goodness in, sending love in, sending peace, harmony, oxygen that gives you life to every part of your body, you can see how that can help bring you back to balance. So if you can just move your neck. Many things in life are intellectually hard to understand. So when you have, I can't figure this out, when you have tension in your neck, that's about a simple intellectual self-devaluation. Something's unfair. So if you feel tension in your neck, that's good. It's actually a healing. So you just honor it Love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, 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 I feel you. If you feel it in your shoulders are about relationships. So unexpected shocks that it's like, I wish that relationship were better. I feel guilty. I feel whatever about a relationship. So that's the shoulders. So feel all that's going on in that upper part. I know my neck is a little tense today because I'm trying to figure it out here. But honestly, thank you. There's no rush. Like and I say that, Deanna, there's no rush. There's no hurry to anything. We can get on our heads that we need to hurry. But really, almost, there's a few situations where we should run. But really, when we realize the bigger, bigger, bigger picture, there's no hurry here. So we can do our quick little feel our heart, feel the love in our heart, because I can feel different energies with the three of you. And we can see that everybody's in a different place. So we can purposely bring the love, feel the love in ourselves, and we can send it to each other. And then those that watch this or hear it, they will get it too. So that ripple vibration of love, it will meet between Florida and Ashley. Where are you? You're out south. No, you're kind of in our time zone. Ashley, where are you? Help me, my brain.
Kentucky.
Kentucky. All right.
Yeah.
Kentucky's one of those states like it's like, where is Kentucky? But it's pretty close to us. So we're all on the East Coast. That's why we're all here because it's 11 and not 7. Good to see you smile, Michelle. You love to see my nonsense. I got a new necklace. My son and new daughter-in-law came, and this is a little essential oil necklace. It has a little cork that comes off, and I can put whatever
Nice.
you recognize it?
Yeah,
So I can put,
I have one. Yeah, I have one similar.
so I haven't filled it up just yet. Good thing I was gonna put some of this. I have essential oil that makes me like really focused. And I was like, whoa, slow down, Miss Courtney. So, oh, Isabel is here. I hope she wasn't there for long, but good. All right. So as many of you saw that today's I have mostly questions. And it reminds me of my story with my mother that some of you know. But I remember being literally in this kitchen next door to me at the edge of the countertop. And I probably was 3, maybe 4, probably closer to 3. And she was washing dishes. And I just remember going, why? 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 And I drew her crazy in that moment. She blew up. She sent me up to my room. But so why? In business, I've taken a lot of just different marketing with different people. And the why, like when some in network marketing, why do you want to do this? What does it mean to you to have a business that you can share, to have money, to have your passion, to whatever? So what's in it for you? So when I think of that, and I'm in my old office today because the sun is out here in the Adirondacks. It's very exciting. We've probably had 6 hours of sun in the last month, and I'm not exaggerating. So I was like, my office is on the darker side of the house. So I was like, I'm going to do it right here. So, so yes, the why. What? Because the why in anything? Why do I want to learn this skill? Why do I want to stay away from that bad habit? Why? What's in it for me? How is this going to help me? So yesterday, and part of what Susan was helping me edit, yesterday I was in church. I sing at church on Sunday mornings, and the homily was about the new year. It started with by now, most people have already failed at their New Year's resolutions. And I read this morning, somebody called it New Year's cave or cavern or something. It's basically by January 17th, most people have already fallen into the hole. And they're like, okay, we're back to just square one. So the homily was it started out, let me just slow down. It started about intention. And then he told a couple stories, and he told a story about, like, there's an old phrase, Susan probably knows it better than our younger generation, about new shoes, or it feels as good as a good pair of old shoes. Like the comfort in an old pair of shoes. So that was part of his homily. And then he started talking about skiing, like how somebody's like, oh, I'm going to learn to ski. And then gets at the top of the hill and is like, oh, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And his homily was a lot about faith. But as he started on with his homily, I started thinking about German New Medicine and why people come here. They come here because they have symptoms. They saw something, a blog, or whatever, and went, wow, that's different. Or they see somebody like me or another practitioner that is just so confident about their health, and they're like, I want some of that. So something brought you to German New Medicine. And so the that wanting something sometimes costs us something. It's like we want it, but are we clear of why we want it? Why do we want better health? Like that's like, where is so and again, I haven't practiced. I get to practice on you girls because I know you're non-judgers. Thank you. So what's in it for you to learn German New Medicine? Why do you keep showing up? Why do you tap into our tribe and show up and get my silly little lessons and listen to our stories and share some of your hardships when you come to the calls? Why? And I believe when you really boil it down to, we've talked about this, is not feeling alone. Number one is when you can see somebody with, like, I believe I have 100% confidence. Like I could walk into any doctor's office, any naturopath, I can have a conversation with any dietitian, naturopath, whatever. And they can say, "Oh, I see on your face you have this, so that means blah blah blah." I'm like, "Thank you for your opinion." And I have practiced that. And I'm not going to be sarcastic, I'm not going to be rude. Yes, I understand. That's a good understanding. And maybe I might say I'm understanding something a little different than that. And so I know why that's there. And it's perfect. Like depending on who's there, how open, and my mood. If I've had a glass of wine, I might, but I learned not to go too hard down a road without something coming back. And I call it like a chess game, because somebody can go and be just like, you are just talking a bunch of shit right now, and I think it's all hogwash. But yet it seems like they're listening and they're like learning. So I'm like, and this, and Dr. Hammer, and the fifth biological law. Anybody ever do that? It's real. So anyway, where was I? The why. And I'll tell a couple stories. Part of my trying to get focused, trying to come up with some packages for people is what happens a lot is they'll be all gung ho and they'll be like, they'll have a session, build up their confidence, they get it, they disappear for 3 weeks, they come back in a panic and say, and then I feel obligated to like, well, not obligated, but my quick response is I have to save them. And then they're literally in the same position, fear, which is real. I'm not judging it. But so much has gone on in 3 weeks that it's so, and what started the fear happened 2.5 weeks ago. And for me as a practitioner to unravel that and help them make sense now is a big mess, and it takes a lot longer. So I've been working on these packages that are about consistency, whether we meet every day 15 minutes for 2 weeks so that I can track what's going on day to day. So you can track one symptom and turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, and off meaning the fear. Or if that package is, okay, I'm good, I'm confident, I want to have a half-hour session in the beginning, or I'll get the tribe and then an hour during the week sometime, and then I'll do my homework. Like I'm that confident. So part of this focus, these packages are to keep people on track for their goals. It's not about me making money, but is to help somebody meet where they are so they can get to their why. I want to feel better so I can travel. Yes, Susan? I want to travel with my friend. Who wants to travel with their friend? Who wants to travel with their husband? Who wants to travel, just go off on an adventure and have the freedom of not a symptom coming back and haunting them, or not being strong enough to make that travel? So really think why you want to invest. Number one, time. This takes time. It doesn't have to take a lot of money. It does take time. And the other thing it takes is that willingness to be real with what's going on in your head, the thoughts that are just, they keep coming back. And mine come from the right side. Does everybody's thoughts, help me out with this. What side of your brain, like when you hear a thought coming, mine, I feel it like right here. So when you hear that, rah, rah, Susan will use this voice, rah, 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 it's always nagging me in the back. Where does that thought come from? I'm very curious. So you can unmute and share, and I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit because we just lost the sun. So ponder that. Where does your thought come from physically on your body? Or maybe you feel a sensation on your body. Let's open up the lines. Susan.
I don't see them as even mine. They're energetic. I mean, I saw that you put that thing out, question out the other day. Well, what are the majority of your thoughts? You know, which category do they fall into? And I was like, well, I always like to play, you know, the game or answer questions, but you know, there were like 5 categories, and it's like, I have 157 categories, and most of them are just, they come energetically, because it depends on what state I'm in, and my ideal state is one where I'm not thinking so much, or if I do, I don't go and follow every thought. So I don't so much pay attention to, or I don't really look at it as like where they come from my brain. I don't think so. I think they're just like part of the atmosphere. And depending on what vibration, if you will, I'm feeling, if I start feeling negative or depressed or whatever, I just start feeling, oh, here they come, you know. So they, to me, they come through the window or something.
Okay, no,
I mean,
that's exactly what I wanted to see what you experience. So you actually feel them like coming and just like hovering and coming by and
yeah, and then you catch yourself and you go, oh, let it go, you know, and then you reset.
okay, okay. In from the window. Okay. And then yes, okay.
Not
And
literally,
actually I
but
want to
you
just
know,
do a
may as
little
well be.
right. But what's cool is you feel that and you're like, I see it coming and I feel it like hovering around my head and I'm like, out you go. So that actually is a really good realization for you to just say, I see it, I recognize it, it's not serving me, and out the other window or down the toilet or in the garbage disposal or back out into the ethers as a good strategy. Because like you say, when you feel down, it's like opportunity. And like you say, everything is energetic. And like I get a sense of when I'm 100% like here, zero fear, filled right up, there's no downtime. It's just all these creative things that come through me. And I'm like, hey, I can't handle them all. Like, so I start and put it down. But when you're down and it's kind of like your gas level, like something has to fill that up. So in come these thoughts like, can I find a home? Can I find a home? Can I find a home? And you're like, oh no, out you go. So that's a cool little visualization. At least it's entertaining for me. Okay, thank you, Susan. Anybody else? Where do your thoughts, like how do you feel your negative or I guess positive thoughts? Ashley, Isabel, Michelle, where do you feel them when you're experiencing them? Ashley.
Yeah, I think I feel mine come from my head as well. I never really thought about like what side of the brain I feel like it comes from, but I think like if I imagine my thoughts right now, I think mine come from the right side too.
Okay.
Also the right side. Sometimes they're like stuck there though, and I have to like yank on them really hard to get them to come out. So like if it's fear or something, like it's like they're like stuck with chewing gum or something. Then I have to like pull really, really hard.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. This is a good little visual. All right. And so how do you handle them? Other than going,
Mm.
oh,
Yeah. Many different things. I mean, like practical things like breathing and like I'll listen to like different frequencies. I pray, I'll read scripture. Um yeah, I think I've been like trying to study the psyche in general, and because I think it takes time to change the psyche. So just continuous repetition of like calming my thoughts is like changing my overall psyche. So like I have less and less stuck thoughts over time, I think.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And when I feel you, just feel you and feel you, that experience of like, stop this fear of whatever. And you're pulling. Well, and you pull it, what's going to replace that? When I was a teenager, I had this thought like, whenever we remove something, we have to replace it. So, what immediately is that new thought that can go there that was stuck? That can, like, you have open tissue. And if you put something there, it's an opportunity for this one to stick. So then it's like, okay, the frequency, the prayer, what is the opposite of that? So there's the opportunity go, okay, I just removed this fearful thought. What's the new thought? That was an old fear. And most of those categories, Susan, that I posted are all fear-based. Unless it's like projects, and it was hard to put them in categories. I was like, and this, but generally, most of our negative thoughts have the root of fear. And fear is what our psyche is trying to keep us alerted to. In the past, when we didn't know that a huge bout of diarrhea was the resolution of a intense, long or short, I can't digest this conflict and I'm pissed or angry or frustrated or whatever, indigestible morsel, Dr. Hammer called it. I panicked because it happened for 3 days and then I was told ... all the stories. So the new story, the new thought, I like to start it with, now that I know German new medicine, now that I know the 5 biological laws, that fear, you make sense of that fear is no longer necessary in my life. So to me, those thoughts are attached with the psyche, because the psyche is trying to keep us safe. Remember, Susan, I'm going to use your voice. Remember the last time you came here, you were in danger. Rah, rah, rah. Watch out for doctor's offices. Sorry. And here's my throat clearing. My turtleneck is too tight. There we go. There, I loosened it. Thank you. So yeah, that's what I feel those. Go, Susan, go. Yes. Thank you, Ashley. We're all over today. Thank you for being.
Yeah, thank you, Ash. You know, to me, I do try and practice. I don't ever perfect it or master the objective, but I do practice meditation. And I've been really kind of upping my practice lately. I do it first thing in the morning because, first thing, I used to do it with a cup of coffee, but like,
I'm glad.
it starts out nice, and then it's like, well, I got things to do. So I've been no coffee, and I try and sit for a full hour, and I'm really trying to connect to like the divine, if you will, which is like electricity. We think we can invite the divine into our world, but I don't think it works like that. I think it's more like, yes, there are aspects of the divine. There is, the Trinity and all that. I'm not getting into that, but when I'm sitting and meditating, I want peace. I want not to think so much. And one of the things that I've been saying to myself lately is, because all you do is you catch yourself thinking and you go, there you go, and you're looking at reality. The difference is, in having practiced for over 40 years, is that it used to really bother me. And I'd go, I can't do this, forget it. But now it doesn't bother me to notice that I'm constantly thinking. But I try and set aside a deliberate time so I can set a precedent in my day where I'm consciously, if you notice the thoughts, you stop them. So one of the things I say when I'm trying to practice is, I wonder what the next thought will be. Because then you're busted. You're busted because the mind doesn't really want to obey you. It goes, oh no, we're not going to have any more thoughts. And so I notice as everybody's sharing, well, not everybody, but as a few of us are sharing, you're talking left brain, right brain, then I frequently turn my head to the right because I'm hearing what people are saying. And instead of just saying, oh, I agree with that, oh, I disagree with that, I'm calling upon thought because I think, really it is the gift of being a human being. One of them is that we've been given this power to think, not just to be a receptacle for like the nuts craziness that's in the air, but to kind of be able to call upon thought and reflect in a way that's reflective, in a way that isn't always conclusive. See, because the general thoughts that I know aren't mine, they're already conclusions. Oh, this person's an idiot, or I can't believe this, or, I can't wait for this, or whatever. They're conclusive. And the real art of thinking, I think, can only be available to us if we kind of work on the soil, work on that groundedness of like, what's it like to just be present? And you have to practice it. Babies are present. We have it when we come in, to this realm, but we lose it because we're so fascinated by thinking. They're cunning. Our thoughts are cunning. Not our thoughts, but thoughts are cunning. They want to capture us and essentially rob us of our present tense to just be. I mean, one of the things I really like about being a little older is that, if I'm in conversation with people and stuff, I sometimes I feel like, oh, they're full of shit, but I don't say it. Or I couldn't disagree with what you're saying more, but I don't say it because I don't really care anymore about being right. I don't have anything to prove. And again, I want to reflect on like, well, isn't that interesting that this person thinks this way? It's like, wow, I live in an alternative universe. Kind of sometimes I feel that way. And that's fascinating to me too. So I'd rather be, what is that Rumi quote? It said, sell your cleverness for bewilderment. I'd rather be bewildered. I'd rather be fascinated than be right. It's because being right, it just kind of solidifies like whatever you think about, the thoughts that come. It's like you don't really even know that they're yours. I want to be free. You talk about freedom to choose my thoughts. I want to be free instead of judging, to reflect. Isn't that interesting that Ashley sees it that way? It's like, wow. And it's like I want to know. Well, I want to explore. Like, wow, it's that. Yeah, I guess so, or maybe not, or whatever. But it's like I want to be present, and sometimes a constant barrage of thinking, it robs me. So to me, the antidote is to try and be present rather than choosing my thoughts, except that I do like to call upon, when it's time to think. That's what's going on here. We're being asked to think about something deliberately and consciously.
It's interesting that both me, Ashley, Susan so far, the right. And so you said some words that actually may be a little interesting piece of the puzzle. There are many programs on our body, like our eyes, our nose, our mouth, our thyroid, that is about taking in something, taking in a morsel. And it is on the right side. Getting rid of a morsel is on the left side. So it's interesting, as if you listen to this over, or if I listen to this over, or anybody, to listen to how Susan said, I'm calling in a thought. Like I look to the right and I'm like, I want to call in a thought. And to me, and that is a thought or a creation. It's like when you're on your game and you want to raise your vibration, you look to the right and you're looking for the curiousness of something. You're looking for the answer. You're looking to create the solution for whatever you're experiencing. At least that's my perception. So it's interesting that the right side is like where the action. And so that I'm going to be aware of mine and why it's like the difference between a hovering fearful thought, like when I do consultations, I'll say the psyche back here, but I'll be curious to see when I'm creating what I do, where I look, where I'm like, and I know we've all seen people win awards. What do? Thank you. Even if they're not like God, they get to the top of a mountain, they go, yes. They look up and say, yes, conquer. So I think when we become more aware of what we're doing and just a little, not to go down a rabbit, why we do that, but just to be aware of the unique characteristics of you being human and then us being human together. And like I've been realizing, we are on the early, like 50 years of German new medicine. Not quite. Like we're on the cusp of putting things together. So when people keep working with the same type of people, there's going to be realizations in those stories and how people are reacting, how they're experiencing things. And so we're all just figuring this out together. And that's what I like about these calls in particular, is it's like I'm experiencing this way, but I can't, I will not say that you should experience it or you are. And that's why I said, where do your thoughts come from? So full circle. Michelle, Dolores, or Isabel, do you have anything to share in the realm of where your thoughts come from, where you feel them on your body, and or tag along with anything that's been said so far? And just so you know, I'm drinking vitamin water today because I'm out of water. It's been too cold to go to my spring, and my filtered water in my sink tastes terrible. So I'm having a little water conflict, but I have these as an emergency. Cheers. And there's our bells. So where do your thoughts come from? Michelle, you up to sharing today, or you just want to listen?
No, I can share. I think my thoughts come from more of my like solar plexus area and my heart area. That whole area there. It's where my that because there's a lot of fear thoughts, and it usually shows up in the stomach, the heart, that whole middle area. I don't. Yeah, my brain does overthink things, but I don't feel like it comes from there. I mean, I, you know, sometimes we think our job is to find all the faults in ourselves and like to right them in some way, but I'm trying to get away from that. And when the thoughts start coming to me, I start getting worried and nervous, and I think most things come from my left side because it's mostly always about my children. As a right-handed woman, so I try to remember that to let go, to trust, and to enjoy my existence here and shine my light so that sometimes I can even do it. I can even pretend like I'm a light bright, but my whole body is all the white pegs, and I plug into a source or source, and I light up all my cells, and they're all like glowing, and I can see my whole body just glowing in this, like when you turn on one of those light brights, and then it's all goes out into my family, to my home, my neighborhood, my friends. But yeah, it's always like in the middle here. And I don't really care much about what anyone else thinks. That's not one of my issues. They have their own journeys and issues. I mean, sometimes, you know, especially my children, they can hurt. I do get hurt by some of the things that they do or say. You know, like yesterday we were at a little birthday party, and my 27-year-old son, and he did this like 100 times, and I finally called him on it. He just like, we were having a little conversation, and I nothing important, but just I must have asked a question or said something, and he kind of gave me this look like, what? And he's done this like 100 times or 200 times, and I finally said, I said it quietly. I said, I don't appreciate that look. I don't appreciate that attitude, and I don't deserve it. And I got up and I walked out of the room. And I think he was a little taken aback because I've never talked to him, like I've never said that to him. But for the rest of the evening, and I still feel a little guilty about it, but I said what I wanted to say. And I'm not, I wasn't saying it to expect an apology, because I'm not, if that's just setting myself up for a failure. If I say something that I need to say, expecting someone to act or respond in a certain way, that's just that's just that can't happen. So I mean, I didn't get an apology, and I didn't get anything. I didn't get even a text or anything today yet, and I don't expect it, and that's okay. That's okay. He, so that's his place, his whatever he thinks. Maybe it just went in one ear and out the other, and he just didn't give it. It didn't sit with him at all. Maybe he just, okay, I'm just going on, whatever. Mom's just in a mood or something. But for me, I needed to say that, and then I have sent him the Ho'oponopono. I've been saying it over and over to him with his vision, the vision of him in my head, the Ho'oponopono. I love you, Casey. I'm sorry, Casey. Please forgive me, Casey. Thank you, Casey. And whatever that may bring, that will bring. But it's okay. I love him, but I just needed to say what I had to say. I don't know if I think I kind of went a little off topic there.
Well, we never do that here, Michelle. Never, never, never. And just so you know, my cat is going crazy. She's like dashing all over and stabbing things, and she's a little nuts, but she's just like, oh, now she's rolling around going, aren't I the cutest?
I'm probably loving the sun, and you probably
Right.
gave her a little kid. Probably gave her a little catnip too.
Well, yesterday she literally was climbing. She'd dash from one side of the house, and she was climbing up the door, just like, and then bounce back and run back. So she's a little stir crazy, as we
Yeah.
all. So, okay, no, thank you for going off topic and getting the pieces. And yes, that's called responding and setting boundaries. I don't appreciate that, blah, blah, blah. And like you said, you're not expecting anything, but if he has a moment of, yeah, that really wasn't, it's his. So yeah, you're not creating a story, you're not looking for a text and causing an I program to go or anything. So yes, you have 5 children, so get ready to have 5 more partners that, and then the next generation, and have all sorts of different experiences. So it's good practice. Yeah. Dolores or Isabel? Thank you, Michelle. Did you want to share anything about what's our topic? I have healing going on again. Oh, where your thoughts come from physically in your body. And I want to be honoring our time also. So it's noon. So maybe a 5-minute or whatever. Dolores, good morning.
Good morning. So I really feel my thoughts come from my gut. Like I can feel in my stomach, more than in my head. Though something interesting, I was working with someone the other day with some exercises, and I could not coordinate my left hand with my right leg and vice versa. And so I started thinking about that my, I don't know what it's called, but it's something's out of sync. So I'm working on that because I think that'll also help me to think more with my brain instead of just with gut.
Okay.
But that's something I've seen over time, that when things hit me, it hits me right in the middle of my gut. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I have to really work hard to let it just dissipate. Because if I don't, then it creates other problems for me. But that's me.
Yes. Thank you. A couple things that came up. So number one, the brain relay, try cross, it's called, well, crosswalking is the term, but walking purposely to cross your body with your other hands or the opposite hand, but you don't have to obviously walk. I learned this from a chiropractor who was in Montreal. So crosswalking. Before I sing, I try to get this so that my eyes can read the words, and it just helps connect that. So that's something that you can just practice even right now. Move it, Dolores, move it. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
And you don't have to do your legs?
You don't have to do your legs. You probably
Okay.
could, but it's literally just getting your brain rewired, getting the circuits left, right. And you can play with that concept and probably do your tongue, do your eyes, do your, like, just play with it.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And there was something, oh, yeah, the other day, my mom came in. Hold on. I'm just gonna,
It was hard because I was 40.
yeah. Yeah. So culture plays a role in our behaviors, our responses, and
Our brains, I think. Yeah.
okay. So
Sorry.
no, perfectly appropriate. Anything goes here. Just no name calling. So as we get ready, as I talked about that whole of the January 17th, where everybody's New Year's resolutions just fall into a hole, let's not let that happen to us. Really go within yourself and go, how do I want to feel going into 2025? Like, how do I want to feel physically? Like, if you feel physically strong, you're going to have more creative energy. That's going to put you in a better place for your creativity level. I wanted to share something right now. Let me see if I can find it really quick. This. Okay, this is one of my, a visual that, whoop, too big, a visual that I just created, and it's part of my packages and stuff. But this really is, when I'm working with something, it's about envisioning. So everybody can see this, right? Actually, I can't see you, so I minimized everybody. Let me pull you back. I can see me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Okay, I can see you. So to me, when I work with somebody, usually it's here to teach them to trust their body. So sometimes people come in and say, I trust my body 80%, but here's where I get stuck. That's my goal in helping somebody. But, and these are in no order, because it's like, this can be over here. So no particular order, because there's no order to fullness. Fun and self-care. And self-care should be fun. If you do anything, blah, 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 I'm doing it, blah, 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 and you like doing it, just raise the vibration. Do more fun with whatever you're doing to help you feel better. Making sure you're in healthy relationships. These two go in hand. Conflict resolution. So if you're not in a healthy relationship and you're starting to set boundaries and saying, hey, you know what, that I get my feelings hurt. I'll work on my side, but can you not do that to me? Like that, to me, Michelle, would be a nice way to just like close that incident. Like I responded a different way, like to your son. I responded a little abruptly for me, but it really is how I feel. So in the future, can you be mindful of how I feel while I work on not getting hurt? So healthy relationships, from who's living with you, your neighbors, your friends, your relationships in medical, all those are very important. And what's healthy? Healthy is I can speak my mind, I can set my boundaries without feeling like I'm guilty. I shouldn't have said that. You do it without an electric fence, you do it with kindness, that sort of thing. And then these positive thought patterns, we talked a lot about our resources today of how we handle that. But to reprogram those old fearful ones that come in, pull them from our brain, and turn them around into, oh, I don't need to be fearful about that anymore. I know too much. So, and when we get this all in balance, that you trust your body, symptoms come and go. You're like, oh yeah, thank you, body. You're having fun. You're in healthy relationships. You know, if something happens, you're going to resolve it within 24 hours is our goal. And you're constantly thinking positive thoughts, and an occasional negative one will go in. Nope, you're out the window. It will put you. There is no other alternative to get back on your soul's mission if you are not there. Because irregardless of where you are, regardless, whatever, no matter where you are, you're here for a reason. Whether it's family, to be the strong one in the family, to keep showing them the way, or whether there's another career on your path. That's not mine, that's yours. And it's so unique for each one of us. So as you are really saying, how do I want to feel? What does it, like, draw a picture, write a poem, use your artistic, your creative. How do I want to feel a year from now? And then what you can do, you can go, okay, step one, step two, whatever, you can design those steps. But if you need some help and you're like, Deanna, I'm getting stuck. And if I can't help you, I know many people that have different modalities that can. So my goal is to keep you on focus, if you allow me to. And that's why I want to keep these calls as consistent as I can. And I am pondering moving them to the weekend sometimes. But if I do that, I will do it with more notice. Okay, unless obviously I lose my voice or something. But then if that happens, we'll just sit here and look at each other.
Deanna, am I allowed to share my screen for 1 second?
Oh, no. Yes, you can. Hold on. Let me, yes.
Yeah, you
allow-
have to allow me. You have to
Yep.
allow me.
Yep, you should be able to do it now. Is it going?
Trying.
Multiple participants can share simultaneously. Yes.
I just wanted to show a picture of my these are my children, so you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So that's from left to right. That's Owen, he's 25. It's my daughter Hope, she's 22. My son Chase is 24. My son Casey is 27. That's who I had a little issue with last night. And my son Henry is 19. I just wanted to that was at Thanksgiving, and it turned out to be kind of a nice picture. So
It's a
just wanted
really
to-
neat picture. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
allowing me to share that.
Beautiful, Michelle. Beautiful
Yeah.
family.
Thank you.
They all look happy.
Yes. Yeah, that's cool. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we're off to another day, one breath at a time. That's all we can do. So whatever you do today, hold on. Oh, I am recording. Whatever you do today, do something to up your vibe. Ashley, tell me one thing you're going to do to raise your vibration today. And if you want to share, I'm asking specifically. Or anybody else. that wants to.
I'm gonna work on some crafts. I'm gonna paint some things today. Be creative.
Okay, great. Michelle, Susan?
I'm working on another book to give to a friend that has a birthday at the end of the month. And she's the gal that comes and cleans for me. And it's kind of a messy project. And it takes quite a while to do. So I had everything out the other day. And then she said, "Oh, I'm coming this weekend." So I'm like, "You are?" So I had to put everything away. It was, Friday or something. So I had to put everything away and, geez, hide the book and everything. And then she said, "Well, actually, I'm not coming
Oh,
because I have a
no.
cold." So it's like, okay, well, I left the stuff put away for a couple days, but I'm going to get it out again today.
Talk about a state conflict.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're working on your books. They're beautiful. Michelle, what are you working on today? What are you going to do to up your vibe?
I got a couple of things going. I am 2M painting pictures. I've recently just been doing. Actually, I've been totally enjoying these paint by number, like really tiny little. And I've done about 10 of them in the last 2 weeks. And I also am going to. I am getting my knees lasered. So I found this unusual place through my searches that does high intensity laser therapy to avoid surgery. And I'm going on my 8th or 9th time that I'm going. So I always like to go there. They're very nice and kind and try to avoid knee surgery. And I'm going to enjoy our sun that we also have too. We haven't seen sun in forever, but it is like negative 10 degrees. So, but the sun does look really nice. And
You're making Deanna cold.
Well, yeah, the downstairs is not like I didn't work on moving my air very well, so my knees are cold. Anyway, yes,
A little-
today I'm gonna up my vibe.
Yeah.
By
Bye.
well, hopefully I can finish a blog or two. Susan, thank you. And I might get into my cellar project. I'm going to build some shelves. So there, I set the stuff up how I wanted to build them, and I've tested how it's flowing where I need to put things. But I think today's the time to build some shelves. So one way or another, my vibe will be up. So thank you, gals. And
Thank you.
have a beauty-filled day until we meet again.
Hey,
I was
okay,
gonna bring my
Michelle.
glasses
Yeah, thank
down,
you,
yes.
everybody.
All right, take care, everybody.